We tried to recover some delay that accumulated, and now the session is closed. I would like to thank you all the speakers and the audience for the attention to this and participation in this session. So enjoy the lunch break, and we will...
No.
Okay, are you hungry?
Yes. So, thank you for being in this session.
Grazie. By the way, it's not clear who should chair here. Now we should wait for the what is the structure? Scusi, adesso questo è una plenaria, no? Vengono tutti qua, no?
Sì, sono
bisogna aspettare gli altri. Sono già tutti qui. Ok. So we immediately start this plenary with a report of the working group 2, a working group that was chaired originally by Professor Velikovic and Tommaso Morbiato. Milan Velikovic could not join us, so the floor goes to Tommaso Morbiato of Wind City, and he will give an overview on the activity and talk about from onshore to offshore to build environment wind energy projects. Tommaso, you have the floor for 20 minutes, sharp. I will be nabulos, so without senza pietà.
Good morning, everyone. We'll try to be even shorter, try to get on time. I'm Tommaso Morbiato. I'm CEO and founder of Wind City, which is a small startup business in the field of small wind turbines and also with technology transfer to hydrokinetic we're trying to do. We do this from Progetto Manifattura in Rovereto, Trento. So, as a brief overview of is this working? Yeah. As a brief overview, the activity of Working Group 2, which I was delighted to co-chair during the first 2 years of the action, and then to chair, joining with Professor Milan Velikovic in the cost action WINERCOST' 18. According to the Memorandum of Understanding, during the first 2 years, so 2014-15, was a collection of on and offshore wind energy technology projects and accumulated expertise. And in the second 2 years, 2017 and 18, let's say 16, 17, going to technology transfer on and knowledge transition to build environment wind energy. So scrutinizing pilot demonstration and good practice scale projects. Also, we try to consider integration with other working groups, or Working Group 3, working on societal acceptance to really more deeply scrutinize good practice in order to enhance the concept of smart future cities. What it came was a holistic design approach, including also the societal acceptance strategies. So, just a brief overview of a brief portrait of the working group. We have members from basically all Europe and neighboring countries. We're not running that good in gender balance. Lambis was saying 1 to 4. Here we are about 1 to 3, 1 to 4, which is not really. Well, this is the starting point to go on. And the most representative countries were Italy, Greece, Germany, and Serbia, and Spain. But the good point is we had the possibility to have expertise in a variety of sectors, going from atmospheric boundary layer and turbulence, wind power forecasting, electrical power engineering, fluid mechanics, offshore wind energy technology, photogrammetry, steel structures, applications to wind technology, structural dynamics, also system identification, and wind engineering. So we We wanted to make sure the more effective expertise to proceed on the research exchange in the action, and as must be done when dealing with a technology transfer or knowledge transition, we started from a need analysis, which were divided in power and energy production examination, analysis of technology readiness level for built environment, and then integration at the building scale for wind energy project, and trying to come up with a value proposition. So, according to the different disciplines involved, structural design for small wind turbine integration in the building, but also to bring turbine design for specific variable winds in urban boundary layer, and electrical connection solution for smart grids. We'll not have the time in this presentation to get into details on this, but this afternoon, a member of Working Group 2, Professor Dr. Todorovic will report this afternoon in this conference. And then, last but not least, urban context integration according to energy performance of building directive of the European Community. So, going to power and energy production examination. Just one interesting thing, if we look at the specific rated output, we can see that in the range interested by the urban scale wind turbines, so 1 to 10 kilowatts, 1 to 20 kilowatts, there is the major dispersion of data of what is the power, set a good coherence between our assumptions, so the energy producibility divided the specific rated output, and the reality, so the real monitored energy data. So are we able to have a good capacity factor in the urban context? So if you look at the data from IRENA, for instance, for big wind farms, already you can see low capacity factors and widespread in the region of the world. But the bad part is that these lower capacity factors, due to the turbulence intensity of urban boundary layer, nowadays may happen that the urban wind turbine scale is the one that is most affected by the lowest capacity factors. So now in the last IEC panels, there is the recognition that amongst the most important capacity factor drivers are technology level and resource quality, meaning the turbulence of this particular wind. So what we need to do is research and development to having advances and innovation to increase this capacity factor, ultimately reducing the gap between renewable and, of course, the capacity factor of fossil and carbon systems, traditional systems. The main two parts analyzing this lowest capacity factor in urban scale is because of the increased frequency of transit runs, probably variable type distributions are somehow questionable to account for different classes of wind in the total energy production, because we're talking something that is changing every 3 to 5 minutes, okay? And so the turbine should be continuously driven in variable speed operation mode, contrary to what is the standard for wind energy, that are short transit between long periods of stationary uniform operation at constant wind speed. So basically, variable speed operation for a standard urban scale, let's say up to 10 to 20 kilowatts turbine, is that it will be continuously run on variable speed operation. As you can see, so the generator is set to a point A, then comes a gust, and you have the rotor going to another torque. So basically, a lot of inertia is involved in all these changes, because you have a lot of accelerations, which weights the inertia. So, talking about inertia, this is one of the most important driving parameters in the urban scale wind turbine. For instance, on the left you can see there is some strong dependency on the moment on inertia in pulsating flows, according to research of the Nagoya Institute of Technology. And what we are doing in our activities at Wind City is we are working on a variable inertia concept, allowing to adapt as a flywheel effect to the gust of the wind. Also, we need to consider that building integrated wind energy projects face a lot of problems about structural integration and analyzing the two families of turbines. So vertical axes are inherently omnidirectional and so are recommended from the point of view of aerodynamics in birding environment wind technology. But the coupling of vibrations is much wider. Frequency is in our minds, wider frequency range, because you have change of lift in the azimuth angle. So going from upwind to going from windward to leeward, you have completely changing the sign. So you multiply so you wider the spectrum that you need to consider when you analyze the coupling effects. On the contrary, horizontal axis wind turbine have a resonance spectrum which is less wide, but they are less indicated for integration because they are not omnidirectional, and so yawing becomes cumbersome in urban wind. So if you need to integrate wind turbines, vertical axis wind turbines into the rooftops, you need to consider that often are mandatory specific devices to damp oscillation in case of minor vibration, or also to specifically isolate vibration from the rooftop to the wind turbine. The one to the left are specifically designed for vertical axis. These parts are going into the center of mass, precisely on the center of mass of the vertical axis wind turbine, which is a completely different concept, and also considering costs, because installation costs are increasing. So, on a completely different point of view about urban context integration, this is another startup in Essere, an Italian startup that we are working together with, considers from the point of view of the design and societal acceptance, okay, with a more conventional wind turbine design, but integrated in the urban context. The last part that I would like to analyze with you is what can we say of turbine design from a mechanical point of view in variable winds. Here you have the rationale for the variable pitch of a vertical axis wind turbine. As you can see on the red continuous curve, the power coefficient has an awful depth valley in the starting zone. So you can apply conventional variable pitch on the blades, which will allow you to have the dotted red curve, so you can surpass the depth valley, but then you will have a really low power coefficient, and you will not be able to have the optimum behavior. So what we're working on in our projects, we're working on a variable inertia integrated with variable pitch. So you can have basically not only one power curve, but a family of power curves in a completely passive way, not electronically driven, but only mechanically driven. So we have the envelope of this curve. And so hopefully you will be able to integrate with several pilot and good projects the wind turbines into the built environment, as in this impression in the Frankfurt station, which is just a bend. So thank you everyone for your attention.
Thank you. You did it really well, Tommaso. I would allow one short question, and then everyone is free to contact Tommaso Morbiato for any other more detailed discussion. One question, is there any on this, globally on the activity of Working Group 2? So it seems you're very clear. Thank you very much.